Monday morning. This will be my last Monday off before Christmas now. I'm starting a new job next week, so that's the end of my fun time for now. I'm back on the Mendip today. I'm come to an area called Priddy, which is a small village between Cheddar and Wells roughly, but quite high up. The walk I'm doing is quite familiar to me. It's a route I know well. It's about 10 miles long. I'm heading south from Priddy towards a nature reserve called Cooksfield. From there I'm going to cross the road and head on towards Ebbor Gorge, and then it's to Wookey Hole and back up around to Priddy again. So it's quite a nice route. I find that Priddy generally is quite arid in its landscape. It's quite open. There are quite a few dry stone walls and stone stiles to climb over. Generally as well, I find it's much quieter here on the weekend than it is in other parts of the Mendips and Somerset. And although we're in late November now, it's surprisingly warm and sunny today. I'm feeling overdressed with my 3 layers on. If you were to continue down this way, you would reach the village of Westbury sub Mendip, which as the name implies is a village that sits beneath the Mendip Plateau. The last time I was here was about a month ago, and it was early on Sunday morning and I was treated to a nice cloud inversion, so the Somerset levels back there were completely concealed beneath the cloud, and it was quite an amazing sight. The first time I'd seen that, and all I could really see was Glastonbury Tor just poking through the top, and it was quite special, yeah. I'm now walking towards the car park I sometimes use for my own walks when it's too busy up in Priddy. This one's free to use and is commonly used by overnight van campers, that sort of thing, motorhomes. An area close by there is called Dearly, which is one of the most beautiful parts of the Mendip Hills, apparently. Just past a luxury campsite that has yurts and hammocks available in the summer, and just up the road here as well there's another campsite called Ebbor Farm, and they cater for traditional tents and caravans. So going back to that car park and picnic area just now, I find it funny sometimes how some people would turn up in their cars, just sit in their cars and admire the view, and while I was sat there having something to eat, someone turned up in the car, got out with the camera for 5 minutes, took some photos and drove off again. So if that's for them, then great, but I mean, I wonder, what do you really experience from doing that? What more could you experience from stepping outside and feeling the fresh air on your skin and actually seeing it with your own eyes and not through the windscreen? I came here with a friend back in April, and the floor of the woodland here was covered with bluebells. It was alive with all this beautiful colour, and it was something neither of us expected. It's just so nice to find it. So the path ahead joins the West Mendip Way. Alternatively, you can go down this path here, which leads down the actual gorge itself. I might show you that briefly. It's quite rocky and not a great place to take when you're not really a great route to follow when it's winter time when the rocks are wet. And so quite unlike Cheddar Gorge, there's no tea shop, no toffee shop, nowhere to buy your cheese. So yeah, if you're going to go that way, make sure you've got good boots on to support your ankles, and the rocks there can be slippery even in the summer. Now we're going to join the West Mendip Way, and I'll briefly show you the viewpoint above the gorge. The West Mendip Way follows the steps going downhill this way. I know it very well. I'm going this direction, following a path I've not done before, which could be interesting. Soon rejoin the West Mendip Way and follow that through Wookey Hole. It's quite a nice diversion though, this is. I've left the woods very early and making my way down this grassy field. I've done these step paths so many times, I always find it hard going downhill on steps because they just ruin your knees. It's the same in Snowdonia as well. I did the Glidders back in July. Coming down from there was just horrendous. That building back there used to be in a really bad state of disrepair, and I've been walking this area for the last 6 years. It was getting worse and worse and slowly being consumed by nature and the undergrowth. I saw a notice last year saying it'd be bought by someone, and they were going to convert it and work on it to create a holiday home, and it's good to see that at long last that work is happening, and it will soon be a good place for someone to stay, I guess. But it's really good to see that it's being put to good use at last, and what's been promised is actually going to happen. Over there we have Pen Hill near Wells and the TV transmitter, and I'm going this way, which goes back towards Ebbor Gorge actually. After I had my lunch using this wall to wind shelter, I'm going to carry on this direction back towards Priddy, following the Monarch's Way. Brief mention to Robin Tetlow, the author of this book, Beyond Bristol. 24 country walks within 1 hour's drive of Bristol, up to about 10 miles in length. Each walk has a written description and an OS map printout to follow, which many maps don't have. The walk I'm doing today is actually one of them, the Wells to the Priddy to Ebbor Gorge walk, whatever it's called. Yeah, highly recommend it. There are walks in close to Bristol, in Somerset, out to Wiltshire. There's one or two in Wales as well, actually, maybe one, and the Cotswolds as well. So the Monarch's Way is a long distance footpath following the escape route one of our former monarchs used to evade the Romans back in the day, and I believe it's more than 600 miles long. I can't recall where it starts or ends. I think it's roughly a north to south kind of route, possibly between Dorset and Lincolnshire, but don't quote me on that. These are the 9 barrows of Priddy. You can see a few of them here, but they are by no means the only examples of barrows and ancient burial mounds in this area, as you can see right there. If you're into caving and that sort of thing, then there's a place in Priddy called Swildon's Hole, which is basically a potholing entrance. And there's a pub in Priddy called the Queen Victoria Inn. It's currently the only functioning pub, and it gets redecorated every year in Christmas as the Gingerbread Inn, which is quite cool to see. Also, the new inn, which closed a few years ago now, is being reopened next year.